The newest episode of Tell Your Tale tries to be a fable about overcoming fear in the presence of friendship, but it really goofs up the execution. The episode introduces a lot of unnecessary sensationalist plot elements that complicate the simple moral, like Misty has an anxious and self-loathing projection of herself which follows her around in the episode, taunting her. Personifying an emotion in this way only works if you intend to do something meaningful with that personification. The fact that this alternate Misty exists at all illustrates that Misty's anxiety is part of her, as it's part of all of us. Negative feelings are not evil, they're an expected and natural part of being human. But by the end of the episode, she just violently disintegrates that part of herself, which is incredibly unhealthy. Anxiety is a normal human emotion, and it needs to be accepted and delicately dispelled, not destroyed with force. Speaking of that, you know how the main five treat Misty in this episode? Not with delicate care or acceptance, that's for sure. Misty is visibly terribly anxious in every scene, but her friends are only capable of repeatedly asking, "Are you sure you don't want to ride the coaster with us?" This is what I mean when I say the episodes constantly treat Misty like some broken eyesore. She doesn't want to ride the roller coaster, but all her friends do, so something must be wrong with her, and the episode refuses to accept that it's okay to just not want to ride roller coasters, just like it's okay to have a bad time on a family camping trip. Both this and the prior episode feel like Misty's being press-ganged into behaving like a normal, healthy pony, without any regard for her agency or present emotional state. There's a responsibility that comes with making art like this, especially for young kids. Like, imagine you're a child with anxiety who happens to not enjoy her camping trip or happens to fear roller coasters, and instead of your family consoling you and talking you through your pains with you, they exclusively try to steer you toward confronting that fear against your own comfort. In prior episodes like Masquerade Ball, Father of Bridalwood, and Misty Moves In, Misty stood up for herself to assert that she's fine how she is, and ponies need to accept her natural state by giving her genuine compassion. But lately, it feels like all the episodes are just about how Misty's natural state isn't good enough, and she needs to be better because the show wants her to believe certain things and feel a certain way. It's really awful. Here's the thing. The reason fans treat Misty badly is because the show portrays her so badly. It wants to paint everything in black and white, so it makes Misty out to be miserable, mopey, and maladjusted, then builds a moral around showing her what's right. That's not empathy, that's Tell Your Tale aggressively asserting its own view of the world upon both its characters and its young demographic. You can't solely blame audiences for missing Misty's character when the show itself seems to struggle with the very same thing. I doubt this episode is going to convince any kid to tackle their fears, and if it does, it probably won't do so in a healthy way. Misty deserves compassion regardless of whether she says the right thing, believes the right thing, or does the right thing, and it feels like the show is actively withholding compassion from her until she meets its standard. Also, as an aside, Best Pony Posey continues to be right about everything. Misty and the main five just skip the line to the coaster, cutting in front of everyone else. There's no consequence for this and no rationale for it. It's a chief example of protagonist-centered morality. They're the heroes, so they get to skip the line, and no one else matters. What an incredibly awful message to send for a show which is supposed to be about unity, harmony, and community. Like, imagine being Posey and seeing the main six get on the coaster again before everyone else has a shot. Then halfway through, the ride blasts off on a rainbow trail. Like, whoops, there it goes. Nobody else gets to ride it now, that's for sure. Yep, there it goes, it's gone. They're doing protagonist things with it. Nobody else gets to have nice things. I don't even know why I bothered trying to do anything.